because Ifajuna was in charge of the Lagos sector, and Uzogu was in charge of Kaduna. And Uzogu was very, very upset that Ifajuna spared the Igbo political leadership. Was Ifajuna a tribalist? Maybe he was. All that is now in history. We don't know. But what we know is that Nzogu was a cold-blooded, ruthless executor. And if roles were reversed and Nzogu was given Lagos and Ifajuna was given Kaduna, it is arguable if Nzogu would not have eliminated the political hierarchy in Lagos, including the visiting Archbishop Macarius, the president of Cyprus, who was at Enugu, moved just from Lagos to Enugu to visit the eastern region, and was the host of Premier Michael Okpara at Enugu. So, dear listener, the issue is, where do we go from here? For us to go forward, we need to really get our history correct. Let's get the history correct. I propose that a national conference, let's call it sovereign national conference, so that we can differentiate it from the other conferences. A sovereign national conference should be called, but it should be a conference with a difference. It should take on the name of the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The Oputa Commission was not a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. What was it? The Oputa Commission, let me read it. I think I have it in my notes here. The Oputa Commission was much limited. It was called Human Rights Violation Investigation Commission. I think that was a mistake. I think the President Obasanjo meant well and meant to institute a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, but was advised that the country could not cope with it. Nigeria seems to be afraid of its past, and that the best way to handle the past is to sweep the past under the carpet, and that is a mistake. Like Othman Danfodio said, truth is an open, how did they say it now? Conscience is an open wound, only truth can heal it. Conscience is an open wound, only truth can heal it. We need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, not a Human Rights Violation Commission. Truth and Reconciliation, let's come there and let's talk. And at the end of the day, let us say I'm sorry to one another. The Igbo nation, the leaders of the Igbo nation, Ohaneze and the Igbo, and the political bigwigs of the Igbo nation should be able to say to the Hausa people, Yi Hankuri, we are sorry. To the Yoruba, Pele, we are sorry. And to the rest of Nigeria, Ndo, we are sorry, Ndono. And the Hausa Fulani nation, we need to say I'm sorry too to the Igbo for all the killings of the Igbo at the slightest opportunity. In the name of religious or political violence, you know, they become countless. Once Igbo are seen in the vicinity, the violence gets bloody. If there are no Igbo in the vicinity, there won't be violence. I believe the Igbo are entitled to apology too, but I believe the first apology should start from January 15, 1966, and then the second apology should start from July 29, 1966. And I believe the Yoruba also have their own fair share of apologies across the divide, even as lately as these last few elections where the Igbo ethnic nationality were threatened if they voted outside the will of certain political and traditional institutions, well, they'll be thrown into the ocean. Somebody may say my solution is simplistic, but what was the solution of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of South Africa? What was it? Reconciliation always starts with apology and forgiveness. And if there's going to be reparations, let there be reparations. But I don't think that the Nigerian situation requires reparations, because who will reparate for the killing of Sadana of Sokoto, Amadou Bello, the Prime Minister, Colonel Unegbe, General Adam Ademolegun? So I would think that a Truth and Reconciliation Commission in Nigeria would operate upon the principle that conscience is an open wound. Only truth can heal it. Only Ezioku can heal it. Only Gaskia can heal it. We need to have truth spoken to one another, and we need to have open minds over a period of 12 months. We need to have in-camera and panel and breakout sessions discussing and agreeing on what happened. And those who should represent each of the ethnic nationalities must not be tribal irredentists, but young people born after the war. I do not think anybody who was born before the war, that includes myself, should be part of it. And if anybody must be part of it born before the war, it must be people born as from independence, October 1, 1960, because it does seem to me as if our fathers, those who are still alive, are part of the problem. I'm sorry to say, are full of bitterness, and they have passed bitterness to my generation and to the generation after mine. That will be where I will stop for now. These thoughts are work in progress. They will be fine-tuned, and I'm glad to hear your viewpoint. Not to abuse me, please don't abuse me, but if that's the only way you can argue, go ahead. If that's the only way you can contribute, go ahead. But I expect constructive discussions. Let us discuss, and let us come forward with a new and better Nigeria, with a much more improved Nigeria. At my age 62, having been born August 29, 1962, I am very worried. I am troubled that in Nigeria I am bequeathing to my children, and I have children in their 30s already. I am terribly worried that I'm bequeathing a worse Nigeria than was bequeathed to me. Not that the Nigeria bequeathed to me was even a good Nigeria, but we are handing over even a worse Nigeria. And we have a duty in the years we have left to heal and reconcile this nation the best we can. Let it not be said that we didn't try. Let it not be said that we didn't try. Because the credit goes to the man who tried, the man who gets into the ring and tries and fights and boxes and falls and comes short and rises again and continues to fight. That I am paraphrasing President Calvin Coolidge of the United States of America once upon a time. Let it not be said that we didn't try. We must try, we must not give up, as Winston Churchill said in October 1944. Do not give up, do not give up, do not give up. Except to superior arguments, I paraphrase him, do not give up. We should not give up, and that's the idea behind this discourse. Thank you for listening.